Okay, so we're coming back to this housing story with Rachel Reeves. So Holly alluded to it. There was the first letter that she sent to the Prime Minister saying, "Oh my gosh, yeah, we made an error. Sorry, fixing up for it." And then there was a second letter that came, well, not even a day later, 24 hours
Yeah, it's
later,
very quick.
with like, "Oh, oops, there's a little bit more to the story than first meets the eye." So, yeah, hello, Britney Spears. Yeah. So what we want to look at is this letter. First of all, we'll obviously talk about the sequence of this letter, and then we'll rate the letter as a comms exercise. So I have no idea how to do a Rachel Reeves impression, so I won't. I'll just read out the letter. So it's dated 30th of October, 2025, and it reads as follows. Cure. Further to our exchange of letters last night, I wanted to update you with further information. Yesterday, I wrote to you and said that we were not aware that a license was necessary to let out our property based on conversations my husband had with the agency yesterday. Today, the letting agency and my husband have found correspondence confirming that on 17th July 2024, the letting agent said to my husband that a selective license would be required and agreed that the agency would apply for the license on our behalf. They also confirmed today that they did not take the application forward, in part due to a member of staff leaving the organization. Nevertheless, as I said yesterday, I accept it was our responsibility to secure the license. I also take responsibility for not finding this information yesterday and bringing it to your attention. As I said to you today, I'm sorry about this matter and accept full responsibility for it. You rightly expect the highest standards from ministers serving in your government, and I have therefore shared the correspondence between my husband and the agency with the independent advisor on ministerial standards, and I'm happy to answer any further questions required. For full transparency, I'm publishing the emails between my husband and the agency as well as this letter. Yours sincerely, Right Honorable Rachel Reeves.
I mean, it's probably better she put that in a letter than went out and said it on telly, right?
Absolutely agree
but-
with that. Yeah.
It's, I mean, you know, in terms of like how good of a, I mean, look, I think it's so much detail in it. I was bored, right? And I think most of the electorate just kind of will be a bit bored. They probably made their mind up already, right? You've either decided she's a rule breaker or not. And therefore, this, I don't think will make much difference because it's such a detail. This person, I take responsibility, but really I don't because it's all because somebody left and someone did this and this and this and selective licensing and blah, blah. I don't know. It's probably just, it's not a bad.
I've taken responsibility of blaming everyone around me.
Yes.
Is also an interesting way to treat this thing.
I take responsibility for your failure, Joseph. Like, your failure to let me down. So.
But Holly, you said something earlier when we're talking about the issue writ large, which is, I mean, you know, in the past, you used to do a lot of sort of crisis communications and reputation management. And one of the maxims that sort of I've often lived by is let's get to end state as soon as possible. Like, what do we know the end state is? And in order to get to end state, you need to first gather the information, all the information available. And so I would not have rolled out the first letter without first having exhausted and felt myself comfortable, if I was in her shoes, that I had all the information needed to make the right decisions. And I think this, to me, is a result of a desire to communicate quickly, to try and stay ahead of the story. But then it backfires a little bit because you're now stuck having to follow up because you found more information. So it's a failure to gather the information you needed. And then it's also, as a result of that, a failure to get to the end state more quickly. And then the question then obviously becomes, well, what is the end state? Well, I shared earlier my theory, which was she's not long in the tooth for this job. Like, she's going to have to go. This will be one of the many things that contributed to that. And I think the nail on the head is going to be likely the comms rollout around the budget. And obviously the Prime Minister, probably to your point, Andrew, doesn't want to get rid of his Minister of Finance like moments or before she's due to give a budget. It's not good for the markets. So it's just an absolute failure on everyone's part to get to the end state. So what would you give it? What would your rating be? 1. Yeah, I'm giving it a 1 only because of the recognition of the need to get the facts out there quickly before it snowballed, right? If the same set of information came out next week, that'd be a lot worse on her part. So I'm prepared to give it a 1, but even that's a struggle. Holly, what's your take on the whole thing?
Yeah, I give it a 1. And I think Almost in what Andrew said, it is kind of boring. Like the subject matter is boring, the way it's worded is boring, it's quite long. So the boring nature of it almost neutralizes a bit of the excitement of the story, because actually you're really going to read that. It's totally different to having it in a statement form where you can see her speaking. So from that point of view, it gets the job done. It passes the information on which they've got to pass on. I give it a 1. I think the go on, you go.
As you say, killing people with process, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh, Keir Starmer must have just been sat there like, oh, here we go. Another, here comes another letter. She's like, please don't write any more letters.
Stop writing.
well, this is
Yeah,
probably
Give me a
no more
phone
letters.
call.
I mean, it was so soon after. It was almost like you could nearly have done it as a PS on that first letter. I mean, it was so quick. Is it really worthy of a whole new sheet of paper? I
It's
don't know.
like, just in case the first letter hasn't arrived, here's another one. Could you please discard?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Surely
pretty grim.
still on his desk.